Previously on Clayport for June 15, 2025. Strings of Treachery. The party, Red, Umbra, Eric, and Alok, stood poised in Einhast's estate, their mission to seize the turning leaf driving every step. Guided by Corvus's whispered intel, they knew the leaf lay hidden in the crypt, Einhast's boudoir, or close to her person. The air thrummed with danger, and every choice carried the weight of betrayal. Whispers in the library. In Einhast's library, shelves groaned under the weight of ancient tomes, the air alive with the faint rustle of pages but unguarded by magical silence. Our heroes took a moment to marvel at the gifts from the dream goddess Lys. Red held a small paper bird in her hand. She knew that if she were to unfold it, magically appearing would be a tree and a treehouse, complete with bedrolls, a rope ladder, a veranda, and charming round windows. Lys must have known of her nightmares about drowning. Alok donned his new boots of bounding, appearing as vines wrapped around his lower limbs. Lys helped narrow the gap with those incredibly annoying quicklings. Paired with his tailwind spell, Alok was really moving quickly. Eric put on his new cloak of illusions and could feel a new ability to become invisible once a day by drawing up the hood. He also felt stealthier and able to cast a new cantrip, Figment. Handy, especially on this mission, he said. Umbra pinned an intimidating, regenerating grim trophy in the form of a fetchling hand to her clothes. I break a finger to activate it. This is gross, and I love it. The others groaned a bit while Umbra laughed with glee. These magic items each felt a bit different than their other gear, like they held a promise to evolve and grow in power should they continue to please the goddess Lys.
The party, fresh from a prior skirmish, their wounds mended, gathered to plot their path through the gala's web. The obligation to vote in the ballroom's musical contest loomed, a thread of duty they could not ignore.
Should we vote? How does voting even work? Do we actually have to go downstairs to vote?
Red asked, her fingers dancing through her scroll case, seeking a mage hand for a covert vote. But her search yielded only telekinetic projectile, too crude for such finesse. They debated backing the green-clad challenger, whose violin sang with passion, or the blue-clad incumbent, whose precision chilled the air. Alok, sensing Einhast's presence in the ballroom below, urged a strike now on her boudoir.
Let's just go down and vote and get it over with,
Eric growled, his patience fraying like a worn bowstring. Alok countered.
We have until the end of the night. I think we can put it off a little longer.
Red's voice sharpened.
We don't know at what point we may set off alarms and have to flee.
Eric shrugged. In that case, it won't matter anyway. Red, her diplomacy as sharp as a blade, leaned out the library door, the party's head stacked behind her in the door crack, like a comedic frieze.
When does our esteemed hostess usually return up to this gallery for viewing? Does she usually stay down there for longer?
She asked the guards, her words smooth as moonlight. The whims of the mistress are her own, ma'am, one guard replied, his tone guarded. From the balcony, Red glimpsed Einhast, her gown a cascade of shadow, locked in a rhythmic tango with Vilmos, a cat-eyed noble, while the violinists dueled, their faces veiled by magic. The blue one's notes cut with icy precision, while the green's passionate flourishes wove a spell over the crowd. Red pressed on.
So have you been serving here long? How do you like this music? Do you get to hear a lot of it?
A guard nodded. It is definitely one of the benefits of serving.
So what do you think our hostess would prefer dancing to?
Red probed. I like when the music is perfect, one said, while the other sighed and rolled his eyes. Oh my God, we've been listening to her forever. Wish they'd change it up a bit. Umbra whispered to Red, who nodded subtly.
It's not for us to speak of the hiring practices of the mistress.
The first guard deflected. The other murmured, there are a few that don't end up in the crypt. Red pounced.
A crypt? Is there a crypt? where we could pay our respects to previous musicians?
The guards stiffened, one muttering, "There are areas of the house that are off limits to us, ma'am." Red pushed further.
What do you think of the very precise violin player? Do you think she might be seeing the crypt?
The guard's reply was grim. "I don't think either musician performing tonight will ever be able to retire to their former lives." Shadows of the ballroom. In the ballroom, Lady Ainhast stood alone, waiting for the music to start. Out of the crowd walked up one Cresbob Ironknees, a Wharton Nugloob draped in military medals, strode right towards the lady and appeared to ask her for a dance. But his request is met with a sharp rebuff. Ainhast then seems to signal for solo performances, nodding at the musicians to start up again, a clear dodge. Ironknees is seen storming off in a huff back into the crowd, trailed shortly thereafter by Philomena, Ainhast's guard captain, her eyes like daggers. They soon continued up to the second floor, not noticing our party as they passed them in the hallway, marching off into a private wing, enthralled in a heated argument.
I think they're colluding, Eric muttered, rubbing his chin. Come on, let's go, Umbra urged, winking at a guard who returned the gesture as the party slipped down the hall. Red suggested sending a Fae to spy,
but then decided against it.
A tray of empty champagne glasses sat outside a door. Red grabbed one, smirking. If we get caught, I'll act drunk, and y'all can say you're making sure I get back to my room to go to bed, but I can't remember where my room is. Eric's keen perception spotted an unlocked door. That simple door there doesn't seem to have a lock on it. We should try that one first. That door led to a hallway and a servant's dormitory. 20 neat beds, unlocked footlockers, and a spiral staircase at the back of the room. I'm going to go check out what's at the bottom of the stairs, Umbra whispered, her stealth flawless as she descended. At the bottom was a door that opened to a chaotic kitchen, the chef bellowing, "We're not even halfway done yet, and the food is not going to be ready in time. Get to work, people. That's a mess. Start over and deliver this now. They're expecting it. We are exactly 17 minutes behind schedule." Umbra, unnoticed, caught the scent of fine dishes and saw water pails being brought in from an outside well before quietly shutting the door and returning.
The party moved on. Eric moved stealthily. Umbra scouted. Red scanned with detect magic, and Aloe checked for traps as they opened the next door. It revealed to be Vilmos's very messy room, lit by a glowing magical orb, with a leather vest laying on the bed, reeking of his cologne, confirming him as the Earl of Leicester Swimming Brook, a gigolo noble they'd seen in the ballroom. Red spell detected no magic, and the room's political tabloid books strung around screamed dilettante. Eric's quickly rummaged, finding nothing. Red muttered a prayer to Jaw for Vilmos's shallow existence as they closed the door and moved on. The next room, tidier and fancier, screamed consort. Eric's gut check perception declared, "Yep, this person's sleeping with Ainhast." Aloe asked, "Dion?" Love tokens, earrings, rings, and a hemp handkerchief with an A lay about, the air faintly linen-scented. The jewels were worthless illusions, Ainhast giving her slaves nothing of value. A found journal revealed Dion's abduction. His mind glamoured into loving Ainhast, his contempt for his wife and kids chilling. A lumpy pillow hid a brass locket with brown and grey hair and a drawing of a middle-aged woman. Sad. This must be his wife, Eric whispered. Eric sewed it back up while the party debated over rescuing him, but couldn't come up with a plan. Onward. The next room was bare, with an unlocked door, bed, footlocker, a magical light, and a key on a bedside table, likely for the contest winner. The door would remain open from outside, its lock only an illusion of privacy. As they moved from that room, Ironknees and Philomena exited a room
and stormed back down the hallway towards the ballroom, still arguing and again not noticing our party. As the two rounded a corner out of sight, the party in unison nodded at each other and slipped into Philomena's quarters. There, Red immediately detected magic on a breastplate, and some crossbow bolts leaned in a corner. Eric took the bolts. A silver-fitted crossbow held no magic but gleamed with value. A map on the wall showed Enhast's realm under attack from distinct forces on two flanks, marked with colored pins for forces and enemies. Is this party an interview process for possible allies and militia for Enhast? Does she know she's being invaded? Eric mused. Umbra grinned, walking up to the map. I'm just going to take one of each color pin. Please feel free to mess with the map, she said with a shit-eating grin. Red started sketching a copy of the map for Corvus, while Eric planted Viridio's cloth under a pin, perfectly teasing out green and gold threads to frame her. I think this is what Corvus wanted us to do with this, he snickered. The party stifled laughs.
Umbra proposed hitting the ballroom to vote and gather intel. What's our time? She asked, her voice low. About 2.5 hours, Red replied. Umbra hesitated. Would it be uncouth for me to vote for you, since I'm not the head of the party? Red waved it off. Of course you can. I declare you our official emissary, as you wear our group's regalia, and you can take a peek at how things are going down there. Aloe cautioned the potential downside might be getting caught and banned from returning. Umbra scoffed. Nah. She grinned. Is there any objection by anyone if I go gossip with that crazy old jeweled lady in the ballroom corner and feed her fake rumors and see what info I can get out of her? Stir some shit up? No one objected. Red added, if you do get caught or have to bug out, we'll meet you in the garden or out in front by some carriages. I will message you in 10 minutes when we're done up here. Aloe reiterated, just be careful. Red offered, we could just all go with you, take all these items with us, figure it out later. Aloe countered, or we could just ignore them and not risk it. Unless they're just really awesome. DnDAlternative's web and the private wing. Umbra glided downstairs, snatching a drink and an hors d'oeuvre from a tray, then promptly ditching them to blend into the ballroom's throng. The green violinist played a soulful solo. The crowd's reactions split, some enraptured, others unimpressed, as she stretched her performance, perhaps stalling. The voting line was short, and Umbra cast her vote for green, murmuring, wow, what a blossoming talent. But her small talk fell flat, the crowd's grimaces clear. Red's message cantrip crackled. Are you staying down there, or are you coming back up here? Do you need more time? What's going on? Umbra replied, I think we're still mid-party. A lot of people are still here. I see Dion. He's staring at Einhast like he's hypnotized. And I see Dintalia. I'm going to talk to her. Umbra approached Dintalia, the spy queen, her silks gleaming like spilled wine, and played the ingenue. Excuse me. I'm so sorry to bother you, but I'm just so overwhelmed as a lowly member of the Everbloom party by all this fanciness. Philomena ran off with this toad guy, and I can't. Oh my goodness. I've just never seen anything like this before. Thank you for letting me come stand by you and have a breather. To stand next to someone so fine, it's a big deal for me. Dintalia smirked. I'm in a quiet corner here. If you don't want to deal with the machinations that are occurring, certainly sit by me and have a drink. Don't worry yourself. And if you can't say anything nice about what is going on, well, please talk to me. What do you need from me? I'm perfectly happy to relay anything as long as it serves me as well. Umbra leaned in. Oh, I like you. Dintalia chuckled. Oh, I like you too, patting Umbra's shoulder like a grandmother. If you ever need more education on how this game is played or anything from me, you come to me. This is the right environment for you. Is she on to me? Umbra wondered. You've misdirected it. I am not the target. Me and my current patron could have you traveling wherever the fuck you please, and nothing of you will be part of that cost. Dentalia warned, perhaps you should mingle. Too much time with me will be noticed, and the first lesson is not to be noticed unless you want to be. Umbra curtsied. I am overwhelmed by your generosity. Dentalia whispered, the curtsy is too much, girl. You should leave in a mild huff, or at least direct to the room that you did not get from me what you wanted. Umbra flicked her cloak in a mock huff, striding off. Better, Dentalia called, finger to her nose. Not perfect, but better. A faint, fuck you, bitch, echoed in Umbra's mind, followed by a perfect, as she nailed the exit. Umbra grabbed a champagne glass, then set it on a windowsill and slipped upstairs through an empty sitting room, the guards nodding as she passed. Meanwhile, Aloe identified the breastplate's dread rune, and Eric found anti-chafing undergarments in a footlocker. Neither could decipher the bolt's magic, but Eric loaded them anyway. Aloe packed away the breastplate and crossbow, after weighing if stealing from a disloyal lackey would break hospitality. Red and Eric found an anchored escape ladder, with weights ensuring it could be tossed to hang over the outer wall. Umbra returned and debriefed. She'd voted green. Dentalia was a gossip hub, but not the mark, and Daon was enthralled by Einhust, his eyes locked on her like a man possessed. Ambush in the boudoir. The party, reunited, crept through the private wing to the final door, Umbra hearing only openness when she put her ear to it. Opening the door revealed a spiral staircase, twisting up and down. This is the tower, Red said. Didn't Corvus tell us something about a tower? Umbra replied, yes, that the mistress lives in the highest room in the manor. So let's go up. They started climbing. 3 rotations up, they reached a door that Red found to be radiating psychic vibes, fear and excitement. Red's detect magic found no traps on the door, but Red started looking overwhelmed. Y'all go in. I need a minute, Red said, fanning herself. Eric opens the door, and inside was Einhast's boudoir, with a plush couch with a man's jacket draped over it, potted plants on its edges, a chest by the door, a 4-poster bed, and walls lined with instruments, harp, cello, lute, and more. A pedestal in the middle of the room bore a sun-faded circle where something had once sat. As Red approached to scan it, 2 Elenanks, fiery, smoky fey cats, burst from the shrubs, spitting flames. The door slammed shut as the fight erupted in a chaotic blur. One cat scorched Red, who shouted, I'm going to use my new spell. She cast Omnidirectional Scan, a custom spell sweeping a 30-foot burst, boosting Eric's attacks and damage against one cat, then pushed herself to focus to affect all her allies within the burst to get a boon and to know the defenses of the cats. The creature struck again, drawing blood. The second cat clawed Umbra, dealing painful piercing and fire damage. Umbra countered with a rapier thrust, tumbling for position with an acrobatics flair, and hurled a fireball bead, but it predictably had no effect on the fiery feline, merely scorching the carpet and a bush. The cat landed a counterstrike, stinging fiercely. Eric threw a dagger but missed, the blade lodging in a bush. His roaring intimidation spooked a cat as he ran at it and screamed. He then fired one of the new magical bolts and hit. But its limited damage suggested it was tuned for incorporeal foes, not fey. The cat's pattern of pouncing and blurring into shadows frustrated him. Eric considered flushing it out with a smoke stick, but realized the flaming cats wouldn't be bothered. Aloe closed in, bashing and slashing the first cat with his cold iron buckler. The cat collapsed into ash, blinding Umbra briefly as she coughed through the haze. Red ran to the pedestal, sensing the leaf had been moved that afternoon. Y'all, I think we can keep searching here for hidden things, but I think it got moved earlier today to possibly the crypt, she announced. Aloe nodded. Hopefully, it's down the stairwell somewhere. Umbra ran to and opened a bedside chest, where she found and pocketed a hoard of gems, while Eric read over a diary he found, its last page listing 14 bards. Bleat, Happy Round Dome, Coronet, 87 years. Viu Nada, Guitar, 592 years, dismissed. Carmina Schick, nay, 2 performances. Nico Blue Weren, Rebek, 99 years, dismissed, rewarded, and so on and so on. Dismissed likely meant they didn't end up in the crypt, Eric reckons to himself. Umbra suggested ransacking, while Red and Aloe proposed staging the coin by the bloodied carpet, as if dropped in the scuffle. They agreed. Escape from the boudoir. The second cat returned and pounced, missing Umbra but burning Red. "Let's get out of here," Red shouted. Eric asked, "Is there anywhere else we haven't searched?" "No," the others snapped in unison. Aloe retrieved Eric's dagger on his way towards the door, but the door was securely locked. Red cast Restore the Mind on Umbra and haunting him, its sonic wail blasting the returning feline, while Aloe quickly patched Red's wounds. Umbra drank a potent elixir, then intimidated Red and stabbed the cat, leaving it reeling. "Bash it good, bash it real good," she cheered as Aloe's cold iron buckler nearly finished it. Red cast guidance on Eric as he tackled the door's intricate lock. He slipped, damaging his picks, and bashed the door with his crossbow in frustration. Its reinforced stock barely scuffed against the sturdy frame. Umbra's rapier landed the killing blow, the cat screeching into ash. Red noted, "By the way, we're at the 220-minute mark." The party took a breath and patched up. Red wounded but stabilized. Their resources, elixirs, scrolls, and Umbra's healing gloves, mostly saved for the fights ahead. Eric, with Red's aid, eventually unlocked the door after several tense minutes. "I told you I would get it," Eric bragged. They eyed the crypt as the Leaf's likely spot. They knew the boudoir wasn't the final fight. The crypt probably promised worse. With only a couple of hours left, they steeled themselves for the descent, their hearts set on the turning leaf and the secrets it guarded. This concludes Previously on Clayport for June 15th, 2025.